make it. What are we doing? Got a big cabbage here. Can you guess? Are we doing cabbage rolls? I don't think so. Are we doing steamed cabbage? Nope. Are we doing... Oh, you gotta be careful when you cut the cabbage, by the way, hey guys? Well, obviously you know what we're doing because you searched it out on the YouTube machine and you typed in sauerkraut and you got here. So today we're gonna make sauerkraut and you are gonna love it because it's so easy to do. A little bit of work, easy to do. Now I'm gonna show you something here. Hold on. This little container of sauerkraut, which will, I'm not going to give you the name brand there, but anyways, little bottle of sauerkraut, $4. This cabbage, $4. Now we're going to take the cabbage, we're going to throw it in our Ninja, and then we're going to shred it, and we're going to add salt to it, and we're going to kind of store it for about 14 days on the counter. But the good thing about this is that you're going to save tons of money. You're going to know exactly what goes into it. And sauerkraut is very, very easy to make. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to finish dicing up this cabbage roll here. No, this cabbage roll, so I'm already getting hungry for other things. I'm going to finish dicing up the cabbage. Now I want to make sure that obviously that it fits, you know, in my Ninja. Now, if you don't have a Ninja or a blender or whatever, you can just dice it up. So what I would, if you're gonna do it by yourself, you're gonna just kind of nice and thin, nice and thin, nice and thin, right? You want to kind of get it like this, right? All right. So listen, I'm not gonna kind of get you to watch me do all this. Just let me get my shit done, and we'll be back in 2 minutes to continue. All right. You deciding to stick around. Can't believe it. I'm going to finish shredding this and then we'll come back and I'll show you how much salt to add and yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Keep an old piece of cabbage, like one of the top leaves. We're going to keep that, we're going to put that on top of the cabbage and kind of help push it down under the water. You'll see what I mean in a second. So follow me for a second here. So when you're making sauerkraut, 100 grams of cabbage, 2 grams of salt. Okay, so 100 grams of cabbage equals 2 grams of salt. That's 2%. You can go as high as 2.5% ratio, but that's up to you. Okay. Now, speaking of saving money, making your own cabbage. We're in January, end of January right now, and we're getting into tax time pretty soon. So just remember that if you're getting a refund on your income tax this year, a lot of people kind of look at that and they're like, oh, anyways, I'll pick that up later with the cabbage that's on the floor. A lot of people think that that's just the windfall, and they're like, oh, I'm going to buy a TV with it, yeah, I'm going to go spend it somewhere, yeah, which is, you can do that if you want. I suggest maybe throwing it into a tax-free savings account, maybe RSP, get a little head start on next year's RSPs, or put a payment on your mortgage, or put it towards your credit card, pay a little less tax. Just a little piece of financial advice here, kids. We're not just about cabbage and sauerkraut today. We're also about a little financial help. Follow me for a second. This is pretty cool. Come on, don't be afraid. Hey Google, what are the benefits of eating sauerkraut?
On the website bbcgoodfood.com, they say, sauerkraut is a good source of fiber as well as vitamins and minerals, and being a fermented food, it promotes the growth of beneficial probiotics which are important for digestive health. The nutritional value of food, like cabbage, can be enriched by fermentation, and it makes the food easier for us to digest. People also ask me, is it okay to eat sauerkraut every day? Want to hear the answer?
I sure do.
You do?
I do. Yes? Go ahead. Sometimes I swear she's married to me. Anyways, point is, eating sauerkraut is good for you. If you have allergies or IBS or things like that, it's been proven or shown to help reduce those symptoms, which is a good thing. Now, what we're going to do here is I'm going to turn on my little weigh scale here. I teared it off. I'm going to put it here, and then I'm going to fill it up, and we're going to see how much I have. How many grams do I have? Now, I might have to do 2 batches if I got too much in this one, which I don't mind. I like doing 2 batches. Well, 300, 600. I'm going to put 1,000 in there. See if I can do it. Be nice and easy. Now, if you have 600, you'll multiply that by 2, right? So 600 times 2 is 12. So that will be 12 grams of salt in your look at that. That's on 1018. I'm pretty good with that. You know what? I'm not gonna fight that too much. So now I know I got 1,000 grams in there, right? And you can go as high as 2.5. 1,000 grams. What does that mean? 1,000 grams means I'm gonna need 20 to 25 grams of salt to make my sauerkraut. Now, you may be thinking, "Ooh, man, that is a lot of salt." I always think the same thing, but then when you look at it, you're like, "Oh, it's actually not that bad." So I'm going to take this little bowl. We're going to tear it off to 0. Ooh, I just turned it off. And what did I say? About 20 to 25 grams of salt. Here we go. By the way, apron, handmade. Wife made it. I'm going to get my own pretty soon. All right. So 25. Whoop. Oh, look at that. That's already 27 grams of salt. I mean, that's already too much to start. Throw a bit more in there, 25. I can just go a little less. I'm going to go right down 24. You know what? I'm happy with that. But you see, it's not that much salt. So now, what we're going to do is, we're going to take the salt. We're going to pop it in here. I'm going to go get a little thingy for my Cuisinart here. I'll be right back. I don't want to use that one. I'm going to use this one here. Okay, so I'm back. Look, I'm going to use this bad boy here, okay? And I'm going to put it into the Cuisinart here. Alright, here's the pound. Okay, so now we got that. I'm going to take this, tie it in there. Oh, I'll get it over here a little bit. And then we're going to drop that in there. That's going to be a little bit of a, I'm going to just kind of make some room for it here. There you go. Oh, yeah, I'm going to keep pushing it down in a second here. Okay, then we're going to turn it on to 1. There you go. There she comes. All right. All right, there you go. Easy does it, baby. I'm going to go 2 here. Now, I'm going to let this, can you hear me? This might be a little loud. I'm going to let it go for about 10, maybe 15 minutes. It depends. Once it gets nice and juicy, I'm going to pull it over and I'm going to stop it and I'm going to put it into a container. I'll be back to show you how that's done. So, let that go for about 10 to 12 minutes-ish. So now I'm going to take this off. I'm going to move this over here. And take this off. Pop this bad boy up here like this. And I'm going to just dump that. I'm going to show it to you in a second here. We're going to just make sure all that cabbage is out. Obviously, you want to make sure your hands are clean. Now, while this is going, I find it a great time to, wash the dishes, sweep the floor, get all the stuff done. While it's working, it's magic. Okay, so now I'm going to take this bad boy off here. I'm going to move it over here. So as you can see, now if you're doing it by hand, if you see here the foam, look at that. You see all the water here? You see that? That's what you want, right? So now you can, if you're going to do it by hand, I would suggest 10 to 15 minutes of massaging. So you just kind of do one of these, okay? Like that. Just want to soften it up, make sure it's getting juicy, make sure the water's coming out of there. Okay. Clean jar is what we're going to use here. There used to be peaches in here, but now, okay, so I just basically take it, I dump it, till the jar is full. Yes, all this container is clean, all this counter is clean, because I want to make sure that I can reuse whatever falls on there. As you can see, it's going to fill itself up nicely. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, it's so exciting. Anyhow, we're going to just keep going. Maybe I'll fast forward this part of the video for you here, so, you know, and you're like, my God, this guy's making a mess. I can't handle it. Well, it's my mess, and I'll clean it after. All right, look at that. So you want to make sure, yeah, push it in there. Now, something else you can do with the cabbage, if you want, you can add garlic to it. You can add spices to it. You can add, do we want to add anything to it? Want just straight cabbage this time?
Just straight this time.
Just doing straight cabbage. Last time we did garlic. Another time we did
Caraway's good.
caraway. That was fun. Another time, hot peppers.
Banana peppers.
That was, no, not banana peppers. It was
Jalapeno? Oh, chili
the
peppers.
chili peppers, yeah. We did the chili peppers last time. So this will give you, that little jar I showed you a while ago, this will give you just over 2 of those jars. And again, you know, the value is, one, is that you're making your own sauerkraut. One, that's a good thing. You want the juice in there. That's one of the most important things. It's really all about the juice. Now I'm gonna push that in there. Oh yeah, I'm making a mess now, baby. Oh, is it bothering you? Is it bothering anybody out there? The mess I'm making? Are you guys kind of freaking out a little bit because of the mess? But you want to push all that in there, and you want to make sure that the water or the juice or the cabbage juice or whatever you want to call it is covering everything so there's no mold. That's pretty important. Okay, I'm going to dump that in like that. I'm just going to take this here. I'm just going to dump it in here really quickly. Hold on a second. I'll be right back. Wash my hands here a little bit. So here's what I'm doing. I'm going to take a little piece of cabbage, okay? Gently take that piece of cabbage. Push it in there, push it in there, push it in there. Now see, now we've got all that water in there, okay? Looks good, looks good. Look at that. Oh yeah, baby. You know what I'm talking about. And then we're going to give this a little wipe like this. Okay, I'm going to give this a quick rinse. And I'm going to give it another. Again, everything's clean, everything's sanitized. You want to make sure, that's always important when making stuff. Now you're going to let this sit for a couple of days. 14 days. So now I got a fresh piece of parchment paper. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on there tight. No, not tight. What we're going to do is we're going to just put it on there gently for now. It is snug on there. We don't want air getting in. The parchment paper is going to help that. Now, again, you see, watch me here. Just putting it on there. I'm going to take this. I'm going to give this a nice little wipe down. Like that. Oh, nice and clean. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it on a plate like this. Okay? And then I'm going to let it sit there for the 14 days. Because what's going to happen is, as it starts to ferment, gases are going to build up. Okay? And it's going to drip down here. So I'm going to take it off, I'm going to wipe it down, keep it all nice and clean, nothing gets stinky, nothing gets moldy. And then, after about 14 days, then I can tighten that up, put it in the fridge. You don't want to put it in the fridge too early because then the fermentation slows right down to almost nothing. So, yeah, so nice and gentle on the lid for the first little while. You're going to let it build. Over the next few days, you're going to see this bubbling and it's going to be beautiful. And then it's going to drip a little bit. You're going to make sure to wipe that down. And then after about 14 days, we're going to put that in the fridge. And we've got ourselves some sauerkraut. I'm going to show you the sauerkraut that we did last time. You can see the color changing. I'm just going to move this over like this. Sorry for the mess there. You can see the color is a little bit different. And it's, you can see, this is about a month old now. And I always like the parchment paper on there just because it's not, you know, an original seal. That's it. So, it wasn't that complicated, was it? And I think you're going to enjoy making it. Go out there and give it a shot. Leave a comment below. And remember, subscribe. You never know what you're going to get. Arrivederci, kids.